Hi, thank you all for joining us. My name is Morgan. I'm the communications manager for Idaho STEM Action Center. I'm joined today by Jason Crawforth of Swear. Jason, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So we're gonna get into this since it's Cybersecurity Month. We're gonna talk a little bit about your company and about what you guys do, about your career. So let's just jump right in. Tell me about your current position and what inspired you to found Swear.
Sure. As you said, I am the founder and CEO of Swear. It's a company that's been in existence for coming up on 8 years now. This is my fourth or fifth tech startup. I've lost count. Um, the impetus from, I'll just jump into where Swear came from.
Yeah.
About a decade ago, I was semi-happily retired from tech. But what I was watching is that we were enjoying the information age. And the information
Mhm.
age is we use data, is basically currency. We use it to educate, to influence, to market, to substantiate processes. We use it everywhere. And the largest companies in the world are information based: Google, Apple, Meta, etc. What I was watching is that we were slowly starting to enter into the disinformation age. And this is before
Mhm.
the term fake news came out, but I was watching from a technological standpoint, the ability for us to use disinformation to manipulate, deceive, and defraud. And I could see what was going to happen. We were going to have a challenge with um, the ability to manipulate digital media, video, audio, and images. I'll just refer to as digital media. The
Mhm.
ability to manipulate that was going to become more democratized. And what that means is that what used to take 100 people to create something fake, think of Star Wars. Now
Mhm.
it would take one person to create that. And soon that one
Mhm.
person would be able to create 100. And I could see that this becoming a problem because of the volume and the velocity of content that we consume every day. Every minute, there is 800 hours of content video published to YouTube. That's just YouTube alone. And YouTube
Oh.
has 3 billion, or it might be 4 billion views every day. And that's, again, just one platform. That's not TikTok, WhatsApp, Instagram, Meta. That doesn't include, bloggers and, influencers, as well as traditional media, the CNNs, the ESPNs of the world. And what I could see is that I knew what was going to happen is that the ability to manipulate this was going to be greatly influenced by artificial intelligence. And it was going to start making hyper realistic content. And that was going to do AI is one of the greatest advances in our technology in this generation. But with
Mhm.
every advancement, there's downsides. And in this, the ability to create fake content, synthetic content that could be mischievous in some way, could be damaging. You could influence elections. You could prosecute innocent people. You could exonerate guilty people. You
Mhm.
could influence reputations and relationships, and influence businesses' ability to do business. So, and elections. You could influence elections. Although, admittedly, it's a little harder to produce any more evocative content that's already being produced today in the politics.
Mhm.
So that's a whole other side story. And just to give a sense of scale as to how much things have changed, about 7 years ago, Adobe was creating a tool they did not release. It was called Voco. And what this was a tool that could take a person's audio, a voice, and in 30 minutes, everyone will make every sound in their native language. And they could use that tool to create an audio recording of anyone appearing to say anything. They decided not to release the tool. I don't know why. It might have been because it was dangerous. But they
Mhm.
needed 30 minutes of your voice 7 years ago. Today,
Right.
they need 3 seconds. There's a tool that
Oh.
Microsoft's created, and this is one of many tools, but we'll just talk about this one's called Valley, VALL-E. Not sure if they're going to release it or not, but they need 3 seconds of your voice. Hi, you've reached my phone. I'm currently unavailable. They take your voice and they map it to 80,000 other voices, and they can basically create an audio recording of you saying anything. They can make you sound like you're speaking in a hallway or a concert hall. They know what you sound like when you're normal voice or when you're angry or when you're happy. That's how much AI is. And so that's 0.01% of amount of data they need to be able to manipulate your voice. And that's
Right.
just audio. Video has progressed just as much. Video in this case is they now put reflections in glasses and on your watch face and micro heartbeats in your face and blood flow patterns. It's already past what humans can detect. So
Wow.
I gave you all this information because we could see this coming, and at
Mhm.
Swear we started to trying to solve this problem. There's four ways you can solve this problem, and we can come back to a couple of these. But the first one is education, and we'll come back to that. But education is very difficult. People will generally believe their narrative, and they don't fact check. The second is legislation. That's a slow process, and it's usually years, if not decades, behind. The
Right.
third is using defensive techniques to try to determine something is fake. This is an important fight, and this is a lot of technology companies are focusing on this. But that's a perpetual game of cat and mouse and whack-a-mole.
Mhm.
And you're constantly fighting against AI. And although it's important, I do believe that fake content, synthetic media will hit perfection down to the pixel, and
Mhm.
that will be very difficult to detect.
Right.
The fourth category is where Swear decided to focus our energy. Is instead of trying to determine if something is fake, defensive methods, we actually guarantee something's original and authentic. We go on the offense. And
Okay.
we do this, and I'll come back to the technology, but we do this by basically mapping the DNA of the video frame by frame and second by second in real time. And we store that
Mhm.
content out in blockchain, a distributed ledger. I just want to say it has nothing to do with cryptocurrencies. It's blockchain is a framework, not a crypto tool. So we use that
Right.
to map that. So that's in a nutshell. Swear from a high level where we came from and what our tech does, and I could jump down into any one of those categories, whatever you'd like to discuss.
Wow. So this is, I mean, it kind of already answers my second question for the interview, but I'm going to ask it anyway because I'm going to give you the reins here. Tell me about the mission of Swear that you've gone into a little bit already, the impact that you're seeing it have now, and the impact you see it having in the future. How is it going to move and evolve as AI gets closer and closer to perfection
Sure.
at the pixel level?
So swear is it's rooted in a simple mission is that we want to have proof of the truth. We
Hmm.
provide transparency, and that doesn't matter where that transparent what is being recorded or what industry. Swear has the ability to apply across many verticals. This could be done in the insurance industry. This can be done in security and surveillance, body cams. It can be used in transportation, logistics. It can be used in a lot of places. Anywhere that any industry or organization utilizes digital media, video, photo, audio, to
Hmm.
reduce exposure, whether it's slip and falls, whether it's to document a process, whether it's to prosecute people that are committing crimes, et cetera, or even protecting the the announcement by a CEO about a new product. We just want to all that we do is just guarantee the authenticity of that. Where
Right.
we are today is that the concept of deepfakes, synthetic media, is still entering the national conversation.
Hmm.
I would say about half of professional adults that I meet know what the term is and know what the implications of synthetic media is. So Swear is kind of at the forefront of one of the first companies that actually saw this. And
Hmm.
what we did is and we spent a decade, nearly a decade, of creating the technology and securing the patents in that space so that we can
Hmm.
basically become the notary of the internet. So when you have a company named like Swear and you own swear.com, I mean, you're doing something real. You don't, it's not a, this is not a fly by night company. What we're trying to do here from Idaho is to create something that has a global impact. Whether here, the EU, it doesn't matter. There's organizations and governments and individuals and influencers and media that need to protect the content that they're recording so that
Mhm.
people know that it's the absolute truth. So that's Swear's mission, is just to protect the truth.
All right.
Was there another part of your question there? It seemed like there was three. I think I answered two of them.
There were 3, but you answered them all. You wove them in beautifully,
Right. Great.
absolutely beautifully.
Thank you.
So, Jason, you were recently recognized at the Idaho Technology Council Hall of Fame Gala, uh, the Friday before last, as the 2024 Mount Bora Visionary Leader, and you've been at the forefront of technology innovation for a long time. So, tell me what that journey has looked like for you and how you think it might look for somebody who is maybe just in high school or college today who's looking to join the industry and be a leader and have a career like yours.
Sure. Well, the first thing about leadership is to recognize that you're just not in a vacuum. It takes a village. Where I am today is a culmination of me working with some very smart people, as
Mhm,
well as advisors and colleagues of mine and friends in the industry that I've been able to bounce ideas off of, and investors. Also our community. As a founding member of Trailhead, which is Boise's entrepreneurial ecosystem, there's a
mhm,
lot of energy and collaboration that happens so that people like me can be successful. I can't write a line of code for my company. I have to employ people that do that. And a lot of the
mhm,
ideas, the strategy, whether it's marketing or legal or the patents, the accounting, it's a group of people to help me be successful. I think what's helped me be successful is not only knowing what I know, but more importantly, knowing what I don't know. And
mhm,
that's usually what blindsides a lot of people that in the tech community or even the entrepreneurial community because they don't understand marketing or finance or legal or HR or taxes or competition. These are the blind spots that cause someone to be not successful. And I think that what I've done over the years of my time to be effective leader is to talk with people in each one of these disciplines and each one of these industries to help me better understand the layout of my company and industry I'm trying to operate in. And they
mhm,
help me see the blind spots. But at the same time, each one of these industries, whether it's illegal, they don't actually see the whole picture. So they do the best they can. And it's part of my responsibility to also help them understand things that they may not see. Um, but leadership is also, it's riding on the shoulders of other people, being able to enable my team members and my colleagues to be able to accomplish as much as they can to get out of their way, set the right direction with conversations with them and work towards something, not because they have to, but because they want to. I make a very important point that when I talk to any of the technical people or marketing folks, that they understand the whole picture of what we're trying to do at Swear. So that when they have to make those decisions, if someone's pounding and writing out code, they're not quite sure the right direction to go. At least they have an understanding of where we're trying to go as a company, that they can make a better decision if they have a decision tree that they have to make. So it's I guess the summary is to be a successful entrepreneur. It is part about what you know, but there's really two other parts. There's the who you know. This is the rest of your team,
mhm,
and to be able to see where the world's going. And that is not something that you can do just by yourself. It's through a lot of discussions, it's networking, it's going to functions where you're meeting other people that are cross discipline, that you're working with educators, that you're talking with people at the university level and high school, because there's a lot of people that have different views and perspectives. And that's what helps
mhm.
someone like me be able to refine a solution so that it can actually meet the needs of a broad audience.
All right. Wow, that's wonderful advice. Collaboration is at the heart of everything, it
Mhm.
sounds like, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yes, it is.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I have one more question, and then I will let you go and go about your day. So what do you think is the most important thing for a layperson outside the cybersecurity space? So someone like me who knows next to nothing about cybersecurity or computer science as a whole. What is the most important thing for someone like me to know about cybersecurity and how to keep myself safe and move through the world in a way that is responsible?
Oh, that's a really tough question just to pick one. I'm going to try to give you. I'll probably give you two. The
I
first,
love it.
there used to be an approach of trust but verify. I don't know if that's a 20th century concept. I don't know if that applies to this century in the 21st century. I think that you have to be skeptical. Where you get your news sources from, your information at
Mhm,
large, you need to be careful. I think social media platforms are not the place to get valid information. There's no fact checking.
mhm,
It's just people posting opinions.
mhm,
The media itself does their reputations are based upon their ability to deliver accurate content, but also know that
mhm,
there's facts and then there's interpretations of those facts, and to be able to know the difference. When it comes to a more granular level, with the ability to manipulate digital content, I think that you have to be careful of when there's people or that you may know contact you for something. Think of an example of, your child's in school and you get a phone call and says, "Hi, mom. Hey, I'm okay. I was in a bike crash. I'm in the hospital. I don't have my credit card with me. I'm fine, but they need some credit card information to be able to at least, help me out." What you should have is an analog verification. It's like, okay, hey, what was the name of your teacher in third grade?
okay,
Something like that. That's not really. It's not going to be known. Someone's not going to be able to look that up really quick. Or
mhm,
what's your grandma's middle name. Something that you would know that you have to have like a safe thing, because someone who knows that says, well, yeah, that was Miss Johnson. Like, okay, then you're talking to someone. But if they're like, well, that's not important. I don't have time for that. I need a credit card. Then it's ways to kind of check that, because this is going to hit people, the common
mhm,
person, and to be able to know that unless that person's standing right in front of you, you should be cautious, particularly if they're asking for something that is out of the ordinary. I
mhm,
need a password for this. I need some money for that. I'm having a problem accessing this account. You should, possibly say, "Hey, let me call you right back," and then you call them on their own
right,
phone, because you may not be talking to who you think you're talking to, and
right,
this is going to hit everyone, particularly folks that are the more vulnerable, that may not be as technology savvy. You can
right,
use analog methods, that your people know that while you're talking with them, we never write it down. Just say, "Hey, this is our safe question," so that
mhm.
your family will know that, but other people won't. So,
All right. That is excellent advice. I'm still going to, pick up olive oil on the way home when my husband calls and tells me to. But,
okay.
I think I think that's a pretty safe one since it's not asking for credit card information. Well, Jason, thank you so much. Is there anything else that you would like to get out there while we have you on?
Actually, there is one more thing I want to add on, particularly if we're
Yeah.
talking about STEM here in Idaho. I want people to recognize that every industry, and let's just speak to computer science, that it is a very dynamic industry. And just because you may be having problems in, let's just say, math, you're having problems with
Mhm,
your pre-calc, your calc class, that does not mean that you're not going to you have a viable chance in an industry like this, because in software, you have developers that are more creative and language oriented. You have database administrators that are more rules oriented. You have analysts, you have hardware, you have networking, you have firmware. There's so many different aspects that I just want to encourage people, is that just because you may have what you perceive as a weakness, and thinking that, oh, just because, I'm giving an arbitrary example, I'm not good at math, that I won't be good in computer science or chemistry or physics. But that's not the case. Is that these industries are very broad and dynamic, and that if you can get through that class knowing that you will likely not, if you like more of a language or a creative person, the programmers, you don't need to have advanced math skills to be an effective programmer. You have to be more of a creative language type than a mathematical minded. So just keep in mind that there's a lot of this is a very wide area in tech. Um, Even if you think that you may not, one of your subjects may not be your strongest suit, that you still can have a place and do very well in a variety of these industries in tech.
That is an excellent point. There's a lot of ways to be a STEM person, and there's a lot of ways to be a computer science person. Well, Jason, thank you so much. I'm going to let you go, but thank you so much for joining me. I've really enjoyed our chat today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.